Number one, Oregon and undefeated Indiana both try to go 10-0 this weekend. Let's talk about the entire Big Ten slate this weekend. I can't wait. Locked on Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Shemon. 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer, and I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet, and you'll get started with 150 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com and get started. So are Oregon and Indiana, are they playing for a spot in the Big Ten championship game, or are they jockeying for college football playoff seedings? Also, we'll preview every game, every team this weekend in action, and our pigskin picks, where we are brave enough to go on the record at the end of the podcast each and every day. Let's start it up here. Friday night. We got Friday Night Lights. We're back to Friday Night Lights. We got 6-3 Iowa at 3-5 UCLA. It's at the Rose Bowl. Both teams have won 2 in a row, and that's a thing for UCLA because they were really struggling. So that will be 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on Fox Friday night. Iowa's coming off back-to-back wins where they scored 40 points or more in both wins. And that's been the norm this year for this football team that fired an offensive coordinator last year because they couldn't average 25 points a game. They've crossed the 40-point threshold 4 times this year, and they've scored in the 30s a couple more times. They are throwing points up there. But what's amazing about it is they're doing it without a passing game. It's kind of the same old with the passing game. Cade McNamara rarely throws north of 100 yards a game. And it turns out, unfortunately, he has a concussion, and he won't play in this game here tonight. Northwestern transfer Braden Sullivan will get the start again. And he jumped in last week too, but he barely topped 100 yards passing as well. It's just the cookie cutter formula of Iowa football. But the secret to the Iowa success this year has been running back Caleb Johnson and the Hawkeyes offensive line. They've been phenomenal this year, and good defense and good special teams. You know, Iowa football, it's what they do. And they'll get to play in the Rose Bowl against the UCLA team that has struggled for most of the year. But they're showing signs of improvement. They've won their last 2 games. They were against Rutgers and Nebraska. Ethan Garbers and the offense started to come alive in the Bruins' offensive attack. So maybe all the hard work and the struggles of the beginning are starting to pay off for UCLA. On to Saturday. Purdue, 1-7 at number 2 ranked Ohio State, 7-1. That's the new national game on Fox. This will be the mismatch of the year. I'm surprised Fox picked it as their featured noon game. Joe Klatt is going to have to come up with some extra filler blowout material in the second half of this broadcast. Ohio State is more than a 5-touchdown favorite in this game. Purdue's only chance, and it's a chance. They don't really have a chance in this one. But if Ohio State is flat, coming off of their big road win at Penn State last week, that's it. That's the only chance. Otherwise, mathematically, it just can't happen. I'm never this negative. I always like to be positive with everybody. This is going to be a blowout. This thing's going to be over in the second quarter. So in this game, I want to point out that Ohio State's much maligned offensive line that has been injured and banged up and piecemeal. Heck, I thought they played their best game of the year last week at Penn State and helped out the running game too. And the Buckeyes defense held Penn State to 0 offensive touchdowns. In fact, they stopped them on 2 separate goal line stands. And this was after Ryan Day said that he almost revamped and started from scratch on defense following the prior bye week, coming off the Oregon loss, the 1-point loss up there. Thought they gave up too many points. He's ready to scrap the whole thing. He didn't. He just tried to make it better. And I thought they looked pretty good against Penn State. So we'll see how they look against Purdue. Should look pretty good. Purdue might not score, to be honest. Minnesota taking on Rutgers at Rutgers. Minnesota 6-3. They're red hot right now. They've won 4 in a row. Rutgers won 4 in a row. Then they lost 4 in a row. They're really struggling right now. This is going to be the noon game on NBC. No NBC Big Ten 7:30 this weekend. It's at noon. And again, both teams going in different directions. Max Brosmer, the quarterback for Minnesota, has proven himself at this level after transferring in from New Hampshire. Running back Darius Taylor has stayed healthy this year, and he is as productive as always. The real secret to this team, though, is on the defensive side of the ball. They got 15 interceptions this year, and freshman Coy Parrish has 5 of them to lead the Big Ten. Meanwhile, as I mentioned, Rutgers started out 4-0. They've dropped to 500. The problem has been their defense. Since their 14-7 loss at Nebraska on October 5th, Rutgers has given up 119 points to Wisconsin, UCLA, and USC. It's a problem. I got to shore that up. Meanwhile, Michigan, 5-4, defending national champions, on the road at 8th-ranked Indiana. The Hoosiers 9-0, 6-0 in the Big Ten. This will be the nationally televised game, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on CBS. We did a full-blown preview of this game in yesterday's podcast. If you want to go back and check it out on YouTube or go back to our website, talkbig10.com, it'll be right there for you. But while Michigan is struggling to find their identity this season as well as a reliable starting quarterback, Indiana is the talk of college football. They're having the best season ever. And if they win, they will improve to 10-0 for the first time ever. And then the bye week, and then they go to Ohio State with a 10-0 record if they win Saturday. Indiana, unlike Michigan, they do not have a quarterback problem. Curtis Rourke is on fire behind center, and he's garnishing some Heisman chit-chat. The Hoosiers have a running game, too, to go with the passing game. And on the defensive side of the ball, they're good at all 3 levels. Defensive line, linebackers, secondary. They got it all. And they get a lot of sacks, and they get a lot of interceptions. And they can score on special teams numerous ways as well. As far as Michigan goes, look, if they could get some big-time production out of running backs, Donovan Edwards and Calum Mullings on offense, and get a lot of pressure on Curtis Rourke with the defensive line that has 3 future NFL players on it, then perhaps we can have a closer game here. Programming note. You know, if you're an everydayer that we're out here every day, but you know that we go live on Saturdays after a key game on YouTube. We'll go live on our Locked On Big Ten YouTube channel Saturday, right after the Michigan-Indiana game. So that'll be around 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific-ish, give or take 5 or 10 minutes, depending on the flow of the game. And we'll have immediate reaction to that game and all the prior games in the Big Ten and a quick last-second preview of the night games, plus your reaction. Always live instant comments from you guys. So there's some instant reaction both sides. That's why I do these. They're a lot of fun that way. And we're looking forward to that. Hope to see you there. So mark your calendars for that. Right after that game, go ahead and join us. Love your comments on any of these games so far, or ones we're going to talk about the night games in a minute, but hit us up with comments on YouTube right now as well. Don't forget, you can go to our website, talkbig10.com, where all of our podcasts go chronologically and group them by school. And we've got links to where you can buy your favorite school merchandise. Get yourself a Michigan hat, an Indiana sweater, a pennant from Nebraska, Ohio State, and maybe not for you. Christmas is coming. Do some shopping. I know you have a friend or a family member that's into Big Ten. Get your shopping done right there. It's conveniently placed for you. TalkBig10.com. TalkBig10.com. Love to have you peruse that site. All right. We're going to look at the rest of the Big Ten. We got 2 night games to talk about. One of them's a whiteout. That's right, Penn State. And we'll go on the record with our pigskin picks. All that is coming up in the next minute here on Locked On Big Ten. LinkedIn jobs. You're running a small business, maybe a manager of a small office, and you need to replace people, it's time consuming. It's hard, but not with LinkedIn Jobs. You can find quality professionals that are right for the role. And that's why you got to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. It's not just the job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those that aren't really looking for a new gig. But they might be perfect for a role and they come up. And in a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. You can hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. And post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Hey, thanks for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen each and every day, especially you everydayers out there. Meanwhile, be sure to subscribe on YouTube. It's free. And you can share and follow and like Locked On Big Ten, your team every day. And don't forget to peruse our website, talkbig10.com. All right, we got 2 Saturday night games in the Big Ten under the lights. First of all, 7 o'clock Eastern on the Big Ten Network. We got 4-4 Maryland at number 1 Oregon. 9-0, 6-0 in the Big Ten. Autzen Stadium. Place is going to be rocking. Although it'll still be daylight there. It'll be about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So a twilight game out at Autzen Stadium. Still going to be loud no matter what. Mike Loxley's Terps, they got their hands full playing this game, plus the added cross-country trip out west. Going to be very difficult for them. They are coming off a tough loss at Red Hot, Minnesota. And the previous game, though, was an impressive win, come from behind against USC. So Maryland's going to go up there. Mike Loxley's going to see what they can do, try and make some noise out there at Oregon. Meanwhile, the Oregon Ducks, they're clicking on all cylinders right now. They're the number 1 team in the country. They're tied with Indiana for first place in the Big Ten. I will be most interested to see how the Ducks offense rolls chemistry-wise without everything wide receiver Tez Johnson. He injured his shoulder in the Michigan game. There was good news. Found out a couple days later he did not need surgery. You saw him on the sideline in a sling and street clothes afterward. He is going to be out for a while. The good news is, again, not needing surgery, and the team will get him back before the end of the season. I initially heard, hey, they're hopeful for maybe the Washington game, the season finale. I'm hearing more, and this makes more sense to me, the Big Ten championship game, if they get there. That would be more likely. And, you don't want to use him too early, get him hurt, and then he's gone for the postseason because Oregon's going to make a serious run here. And the other good news, Oregon's loaded at wide receiver. They got a lot of guys there, so it's a pretty deep position on this roster, and they should be okay, I think. And let's be honest, the hardest part of their schedule is behind them right now. They've already done the thing at Michigan. They already beat Ohio State. These are all winnable games for them, closing out the regular season. So the other night game we have, it's the Whiteout at Penn State, which is awesome. We always like to watch it. It's a great, spectacular thing to watch on TV. Washington coming in at 5-4. Penn State ranked 6 in the country. That's all. They only fell to 6 after the loss to Ohio State. They're 7-1. They're still in the mix for everything. This game is going to be streamed 8 o'clock Eastern. It's even a later time on Peacock. Just to let you know, in case you haven't heard yet, a lot of people have been talking about it. Some people are upset. But let's talk about this game, man. It's our last game to talk about. There's only 6 games in the Big Ten this weekend. So last but not least, by any stretch of the imagination here. So we got the Whiteout at Happy Valley. They're going to need this boost, Penn State, from the home crowd, coming off a really tough loss. Everybody's been disappointed in open around Happy Valley this week after the loss. So they need a boost. The home crowd's going to pump them up a little bit. You all know the story by now, right? Penn State wanted last week's Ohio State game to be the nighttime Whiteout game on national TV and get the home field advantage, or at least, increase their home field advantage against an Ohio State team. And the Fox Network They own the rights. They do their big thing at noon, and they wanted the game at noon. So that's what happened. So the Nittany Lions decided to make this Huskies game here as the whiteout game. Remarkably, NBC, Big Ten Saturday night, they punted on this game. They're not going to air it. So that's why it's going to be on Peacock. NBC would rather air Notre Dame, apparently. So against Florida State, which is 1-8. I'd be upset too if I was a Penn State fan. But anyway, that's what is going to be on at nighttime. Anyway, the 1-8 Florida State Seminoles taking on Notre Dame, who's fighting for a playoff spot, no question. But it just feels kind of weird. It feels like this whiteout game, Penn State, is an afterthought, and I don't think people at Penn State think that's right. So anyway, that's the deal with that. As far as the Huskies go, hey, welcome to the Big Ten, right? They've never had to do one of these whiteout games, road game, halfway across the country. And look, I think Washington's a good football team. Are they great? No. Are they flawed? Yes. I think they're a good team. I really like their running back, Jonah Coleman. Good, hard, powerful runner. Washington's biggest problem this year is they can't win on the road. They don't win on the road in the Big Ten. They're coming off a loss in Indiana, their last game, as a matter of fact. So, look, and here's another thing about Washington. Generally speaking, I'm not a fan of two quarterback systems on one team. But behind starter Will Rogers is Jamal Williams. And they bring him in for an athletic change of pace every once in a while. I actually think they should use him more. And I think they should do more of the back and forth quarterback thing. They seem to have a little bit of a spark there. So, I don't know. Husky fans, do you agree with that? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments. I would like your opinion on that. So, the Huskies coming off the road, lost to Indiana, and they still have their season finale, which is against number 1 Oregon. So that's going to be tough. I look forward to all of that. So that's it. That's the slate. A relatively small slate, 6 games, 12 teams, other teams on bye, getting ready for the final push in the month of November. So let me know what you think on any of these games on the previews. Always like to hear your comments. I'll go through them tonight, getting ready for the games tomorrow and Saturday. Looking forward to that. We'll continue. We're not done yet. We got the point spreads. Some of them are kind of wonky. Point spreads, point totals. We're going to make our pigskin picks. That's coming up next right here on Locked On Big Ten. Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.5% APY on uninvested cash to be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. The product-specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC. FanDuel makes the fun of watching games even more fun. Get ready to tackle more NFL action on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, or check out the latest stats or play-by-play, scores, all on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com and join today. You'll get started with $150 of bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's at FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. I have a hunch. Sunday Night Football, the Lions at Houston Texans. Lions 3.5-point favorites. They're going to cover it. Lions are the hottest team in football right now, and I like them to fly past the 48.5. Jared Goff and that Lions offense will get more than halfway there themselves. CJ Stroud, He can put points up for the Texans. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. So all that, you can do that too at FanDuel.com. FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, it is time for our pigskin picks where we go on the record. Speaking of point spreads and FanDuel, let's do this. I'm going to put them on screen so you can see them. If you're audio only, we'll describe them in detail. Only 6 games. We're going to get them all on one page here. We'll go full screen and check these out. So, Friday night, Iowa is at UCLA. And Iowa is a 6-point favorite. The over-under at 45.5. First of all, this is one of the bets I like the most this weekend. The over-under at 45.5. Iowa will win this game. They will cover the 6. But because when Iowa wins, they score like 40 points a game. So they're going to get close to that 45 by themselves. UCLA won't stop that running game. And UCLA's offense is starting to click a little bit. Ethan Garber's, even though the Iowa defense is pretty good, really good, I think Ethan Garbers gets a touchdown or 2, right? This number flies past the 45.5. I really like that. Purdue and Ohio State, 38-point spread for a conference game. Wow. Look, it all depends if Ryan Day subs out in the fourth quarter. Certainly, Ohio State is very capable of winning this game by 38 or 40 or 45 points. Because of that, now, I don't think Purdue's going to score. So I would take the under 53.5. Like, literally, they might not score. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say Ohio State. I'm going to take a chance, see if they cover that 38. But keep the number under 53.5 because Purdue doesn't produce anything in this game. Minnesota is at Rutgers. Minnesota is a 6-point favorite. Rutgers, I just told you, Rutgers has given up 119 points in the last 3 games. Minnesota's going to win, and they're going to cover this number. There will be a lot of points in this game. Again, this will kind of be like Ohio State. I don't know how much Rutgers is going to score on Minnesota's defense. Like, Minnesota's an interception machine on defense. So much like the previous game, I think Minnesota wins. They cover the 6, but take the under 46.5 because I don't know how much offense Rutgers is going to put on the board. All the numbers will be on the Minnesota side. All right. Michigan at Indiana. When's the last time you seen Indiana 14-point favorite against Michigan? Like, never. But Michigan's been beating people soundly with high single-digit point spreads, and yet they're crushing people by multiple touchdowns. Like, Michigan's got some pretty good pieces of that defense. I think Indiana covers the 14. The question is the number. I mean, Indiana could score 40 points, maybe because it's Michigan's defense. 30? Will Michigan score? I think over. I think 49.5, take the over, but Indiana covers the 14 points. Maryland at number 1, Oregon. Oregon, a 25-point favorite. Oregon, more times than not, has not covered the point total, even though they win. So I don't think they cover the 25. I think there's a little fight in Maryland coming in this game. Oregon wins easily. Don't get me wrong. They can win by 3 touchdowns, but that won't cover the number. The over-under. Boy, that's high. 57.5, isn't it? Again, like these other games, Oregon will do all the point scoring here. It's no, I'll take the under on that. I'll take the under. And then finally in the whiteout, Washington at Penn State. I don't know if Penn State covers this number, but they will win. Penn State win. I think Penn State wins this game by like 10. And I'll take the under on this one too. You know, last week we're taking all the overs. I like the unders. I like a little bit of defense here this weekend. We're getting ready for playoff football. Defense wins championships or something like that. Anyway, those are our pigskin picks. Let me know what you think. If you got a different idea, different pick, be glad to hear it. Hit me up with the comments on YouTube. That would be fantastic. All right, we're here. Another weekend, November football. There are many ways for you to contact me on Twitter, X at TalkBig10. Don't forget our website, talkbig10.com. Love to see you there. And also, right here on YouTube. Right here on YouTube. So, and leave your comments there and go back and watch some other ones. Get caught up from the week. We do here every day for you. Whatever you do, be sure to subscribe, please. That helps us out a lot. Subscribe, follow, and share, and like Locked On Big Ten right now. Get your favorite podcast on your favorite podcast app, and you get the latest episode of Locked On Big Ten as soon as it becomes available each and every day. Don't forget, we're going live right here after the Michigan-Indiana game. Enjoy the games. Can't wait till we talk to you next time. Have a great weekend. I'm Craig Shemon for Locked On Big Ten.